Hi, this is Kristine Kieland and of KristineKieland.com, creating healing trauma and creating joy. And I was actually asked today to explain why I'm doing the channels and how I do the channels and how this all came about and what exactly channeling is. And so I just want to explain that I am a consciousness mentor. I'm a consciousness channel. What I do is I channel, which means just the energy, the words of, and the information of love comes through me, and it can come through anybody. I'm not doing anything different than anybody else. What I do is I am very specific that this is what I want to do. I've reached a point that I don't have any other options. I want to encourage each other to live in love, to only live in love, to change the consciousness of the planet, to let all consciousness of the planet come through in whatever way is best for people to hear. I just happen to be one way. It's something that I've been consciously and unconsciously asking for. I'm really attached to the animals and the animal kingdom, the consciousness of the oceans, the consciousness of the planet, the solar system. And I really want to bring forward another channel called Love Beyond Love, which is just another consciousness. Everything exists in love, and everything comes from love, and everything will always be love. With saying that, there's some confusion of what love is for us in kind of our physical bodies, and interpretation of love, receiving love, giving love. It gets very confusing for people at times, and we have different definitions. And it's my greatest desire, and my heart is filled with gratitude that I even have an audience that is ready for this information. Today we have actually there's quite a few wanting to come through and have a voice, but we're just gonna turn it over real quickly. If anybody has a question, you can ask that real quickly. I am paying attention to what's coming through. Just give me a moment. And actually, the elephants want to come through today. I'm going to do a channel for the elephants. I'm also going to do a channel for Love Beyond Love. Again, just really clearly that everything is love and everything comes from love, and we just get confused and misunderstanding. We send mixed messages to ourselves and to each other beings on the planet. This is the first notarized televised channel from the elephant kingdom. I am what you would consider a bull. I'm a male elephant, and I'm here with my pride. I'm here with my family. I have about 60 members in my family. I'm an African elephant. I have great strength. I have great wisdom. I have the interest of not only my species but all species on the planet, and is we do not share common languages, but we do share similar vibrations. We share similar intentions. My brethren, my elephant kingdom, that's your word, that's not mine, is we communicate in family structures. We are all about what is best for our community, what is best for the elders, what is best for the youngsters in our group. We do not do anything without thought of who else is in our vicinity. We do not do every thought is a conscious thought, and every thought has an awareness of what the next thought is. We are very concerned that we see family structure falling apart in your society. And we do not mean traditional family structure. We just see divisiveness of hearts. We see again we see judgment of my thought, my identity, what you consider family is divisive at times. We do not understand how you can throw a family member out. We would never kick a your word. We would never kick a youngster to the curb. We would never, ever not nurture somebody that we gave birth to. We would never not nurture, protect, guide, encourage, teach any member of our you call it, of our tribe. We would not do that. Doesn't matter what their age is. We honor everybody. There is nobody that is not significant in our group. We do have certain roles within our group. We have, as I said, I'm a bull elephant. I'm one of the greatest and strongest in my, which would consider my territory, which covers many, many miles. I do not know ages. I do not know numbers. I do not know ages, but I'm old, and I'm very honored within my tribe because I have survived. So I have survived, but I also have, I have endured quite a bit. I have endured a lot in my time in my physical body, but endurance has great value. We are encouraging to look at not endurance as a struggle or something to be overcome. Endurance is, what is my desire? Why am I even here in physical form? What is why am I with others? Why am I with others? And we endure sometimes harsh conditions. We endure great movement. We would encourage you to also have great movement within your lives. You don't have to cover geographic areas like we do, but we see so much stagnation of thought and so much stagnation of desire. You are a species that sits on your laurels. You are a species that is very content with the status quo. You do a lot of bitching and complaining. We do not see much action taking. If there's something you truly desire, go for it. Go for it. Decide what you want and let nothing stop you. You see, you see a bull running. I may be protecting or controlling my territory. I may be just not so much disciplining, but teaching and guiding a young one. You see a young elephant, with the trunk in the air and sprouting water. That's the experience of joy. There is not a species on this planet that does not understand the experience of joy. There are many that choose not to experience joy, but that is one of what we do. We are family. We are joy. We are connection. We are commitment. We are dedicated, and we do not let we do not lose our focus. We do not lose our focus. We stay very, very focused. The elephant is just stepping aside now so that Kristine can answer a question or two. So I'm just gonna take a moment here and look through, see if there's anything that needs to be anything I can address real quickly. Seemed like somebody had a question. Yes, animals they really are amazing, aren't they? They do not leave anybody behind. Okay. Some of us are going to do a spiritual cleanse. We will bring in some energy that you just need to accept. It's nothing. I want everybody to understand that whatever you desire, you can ask for. I don't exist in an energy field that you don't exist in. I don't have connections to like a greater source that you don't have. The difference perhaps between me and you is that I've spent a lot of time making myself a clear channel. I no longer carry grief within me. I no longer carry trauma. I no longer carry confusion or misunderstanding. I have a pretty clear understanding of my life experience, how it's helped me, how it has taught me. I am grateful for everything. I don't that's what I mean by clear channel. There's no interference. I can listen to multiple thoughts and multiple ideas without getting my intense ego in the way. So I will bring in some energy. We'll bring in some grace again today. And actually, I'm just being reminded that whenever I come on and whenever I do a live or whenever wherever I go, the consciousness of grace is with me, because that's something I've asked for. And just like I can't eliminate or bring oxygen to a room, this is just an energy force, an energy field, a consciousness that is on the planet, and all I do is maybe help direct it to you if that's something you choose to take. You can feel it coming in through your crown chakra, Marty, and expanding through your chest. Good reminder. Thanks, honey. Okay, so we're gonna, the elephant is back. This time we have a female elephant who says, I'm much kinder and gentler than my mate, and I do exist only in love. I am the nurturing. I am one of the mothers on the planet. We have mothers on the planet, you must know. We have a deep, deep soul connection. Just as some of you may know that the trees are connected, the stars are connected. There's a connection between consciousness. Mothers have a connected consciousness. Whether you're a mother in my great size or you're the mother of a mouse, there is a certain energy, a certain consciousness that goes with motherhood. And what we are seeing is a divisiveness of, it's all species. Kristine will continue to talk about it. There's a great divide in this planetary system of love and unlove. And how do you change society, and how do you ever bring a different experience to your planet? Do all things with love. Do the hardest, do the most difficult, what you consider to be the most difficult, do with love. For instance, I have to protect my child. I have to I have to kill for my food, for my babies. And I'm actually seeing a tiger here, so I apologize. But whatever act I partake in, it is done with love. She's just looking for words. She says, I'm an emotional being, but I'm an energetic being, and she's she says, I'm delighted to be here and delighted to have a voice, because we as a species, animals in general, I'm going to speak for motherhood and animals. I'm going to take the stage for just a moment and let you know that we are not seen as equals. This is very distressing to us. Yes, we have different forms and we have different awarenesses. We have different awarenesses. And you understand that you do this with your physical, you do this with humankind. You treat others with different consciousness differently. You kind of decide that you have more intelligence, or you have more love in your heart. You have more understanding, you have more awareness, and we're going to treat you differently. We do not do that in the animal kingdom. We honor everybody for exactly who they are, because animals know who they are, what they're why they're in the chosen form, and what they're doing here. She talked a little bit more about I don't know what just happened there, so sorry about that. Anyhow, I'm just gonna keep talking. She sorry guys, too much going on here. Well, I'm gonna just keep talking. I don't really quite know what happened here, but anyhow, the mother elephant is here, and she wants to continue to discuss this divisiveness of love, that you determine that one person is worthy of love and another person is not. She says she wants to use her own voice and not talk through me. She's going to, let me just take a pause so I can adjust her energy field. I am an elder. You talked originally to what I consider a brother in my tribe. We have been on this planet for many, 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 many years. We have been in rotation many times, coming in and out of physical form, and we've chosen to be elephants. We are We hold great wisdom and we hold great energy on this planet for family communication and for nurturing and guidance. It should be no surprise to you that we are one of the biggest, what you call, creatures on the planet. Look at us, follow us, understand us. We encourage you to look with a different eye and perhaps question, be curious about another species, what you consider another species. We understand this is difficult because you have many times have a great difficulty understanding what the person next to you is doing and why they behave the way they do. Just consider what it would be like if you looked at the person with only love in your eyes, and to bring understanding of compassion for that person's lack of awareness, or mostly when people struggle, it is because they are not aware. For instance, we have an elephant in my pride, and she is young and a bit naive. And as she was frolicking and playing and not paying attention to her elders, she stepped into a hole, and she twisted the knee. She twisted what you would call the knee, and now she's having a hard time getting along. We do not blame or we do not criticize her for slowing down the group's traveling speed, or that we need to now protect her, but we do make her aware that you need to be aware of where you're stepping, where you're walking. You need to follow the person in front of you. I am your leader. Leader's not quite the right word. I am your teacher. I'm teaching you how to best adjust to the plane that you're on, and how to work with your physical body. We encourage you to have this kindness towards each other. Can you lend a helping hand? Can you lend, you do not have a trunk, but can you lend a helping hand? There is, please do all things with love, and do all things with kindness and compassion. That is all I have to say today. I'm going to go back to my family, and perhaps I will be back some other time to say hello. Okay, so that was a couple of elephants that came through that were just very happy to share their thoughts for the day. Again, this is just a quick video. Kristine's here again, and I hope, again, just want to say thank you for coming in, and I'm so appreciative of this, and I will be talking to you tomorrow. Thank you. And yes, it is fitting that this is Pride Month. Yes, it does happen. People get ostracized, don't they? People get ostracized and left behind, right? Because they're seem that they're different, or they're not. I'm just going to look at quick questions before we. Somebody's asking, we can understand animals just like you do. Really, yeah, I guess we need to address this. Give me a minute so I can turn around figure out how my. Oh, just did it. Got it. So, thank you. I really don't have, so let me see. Here, now is an appropriate time. Now is an appropriate time to explain how I got to be a goofy little kid who didn't always feel like she fit in the world. Some days thought she was loved. Some days she was sure she was unloved. Some days life made no sense. How did I get from that to a person who's can do the work that I do? Great desire of not wanting to stay in the same place. I did have a mom that was very psychic and very intuitive. It was a little bit hard growing up with her because my mom had great compassion, but she also had a lot of trauma in her life. So it was a little bit difficult at times to be her kid. And it was also difficult to have a mom who was not mainstream and talked about, it brought attention to me in a way that I was not comfortable. But looking back, I realized that I've always been intuitive and I've been psychic. I've always been able to see, hear, know, understand things. It took me a bit of time to realize that this was not natural for everybody. Actually, it is natural, just it's not a normal state of being for quite a few people. And what happened was I just decided that it was more important for me to love myself than to be loved by others. That probably sounds cliche or sounds I just hope you all hope you all understand that. And that does not mean I love anybody less. It's just that I could not be inauthentic to myself. I could not lie to myself anymore. It's funny as I say that because I spent a lot of my childhood, early teens, adulthood being very, very depressed, going in and out of depression. And depression is just lying to yourself. It's believing things that aren't true about yourself, and it's believing that the past defines you. One thing I did believe is that I had experiences that made me feel very, very unloved. And I took those experiences to mean that meant that I was unlovable. All it meant is that the person that was on the other end of my experience didn't understand how to love themselves either. And once I understood that, things started moving in a whole different direction. Whole different direction. And really having a channel to animals, talking to people, talking to people that have passed on, whether you're in a physical body or not, there's really no difference. If you're intuitive, you're intuitive. All I've done is I've increased my skills. As I tell my kids all the time, I can't do math, but I can talk to dead people. I can talk to trees. I can talk to rocks. I can talk to elephants. I can talk to different consciousness that's not in physical body, that comes through in great consciousness. This is just a skill that I brought in, and I decided I cannot live without being authentic to myself and living in my natural state of being. Some people have a beautiful voice and can do nothing but sing. I cannot not let this information come through. Any questions? I don't want to go too far into my background. Unless that's interesting. I guess I'm being prompted to tell people. Sometimes people do get a course correction. My course correction was to allow myself to be authentic and to allow myself to actually I'm choosing my words carefully. I always choose my words carefully because things get misunderstood sometimes. I've had a couple of course corrections in my life, but the biggest one was in 2009 when I was experienced breast cancer. This did not scare me. It did not frighten me. It was just like, honey, you need to now slow down and find what you really value in your life. And I always valued making sure other people felt loved to the best of my ability. And honestly, many times I didn't do a great job at that either. I was, when you're unhappy, sometimes it's hard to make other people happy too. And then that would cause stress for me too. But what I did is when I had cancer, I just took time out, and I just really, what was the best, and I'm just really remembering now, is I had a lot of quiet time. I had a lot of still time. And the quieter you are, the more you are able to have a clear channel and be yourself. And I just call it's like divine inspiration. So however you look at that is God or love or universe, whatever it is, the less busy I was, the more I was able to just let thoughts come in. I would just, I started to realize that some of the thoughts I had were inspired. Some of my thoughts were valuable for other people to hear. And and I suffered some sexual abuse as a child, as a very young infant, from a caregiver. And when you have that, you start to live a life of secrecy. So it's very hard to share your ideas and share your thoughts. But what cancer did for me, cancer is just a pause button. And cancer is also, for my particular tumor, not everybody's, was inspired action that I did not, inspired thought that I did not take action on. And that actually caused the tumors, like movement, energy that moved forward, thought that moved forward, great ideas, ways to help myself and help others. And I just stopped it because I didn't have confidence in myself. And that eventually caused a tumor. That's not the case for everybody, but, emotions are very connected to disease. And that's just how mine manifested, so that I would pay attention. within that time of healing, it was a time of understanding. And the understanding was that I have to take care of myself. And I mean more than bubble baths. You have to do more than bubble baths. You have to listen. You have to be aware. I started being aware of what my thoughts were. And unfortunately, we live in a society where it's kind of honored to degrade yourself. And degrading yourself is just unloving. And so part of it's, for me, part of it was being funny, being sarcastic, making sure that I pointed out what wasn't great about me. So for me, it was a way to I'm going to point out to you my flaws before you do. It made, for some odd reason, it made me feel better. It was like I could, you know what? And another thing that's kind of cool is once you get past the trauma and you get past what you used to feel so strongly every day, it's hard to remember. It's really hard to remember the person I was. I do remember not fitting. I do remember not feeling like I fit in the world. So fast forward, I guess the original question was it would be really cool to talk to animals. So all I did is I just remained a clear channel. And before you know it, I was listening to animals just as clearly as I was listening to people. When I did find my own tumor, I just heard really clearly, honey, you are either doing this work or checking out. I didn't quite know what that meant at the time, but I did know it meant just slow down your life a little bit. I was very fortunate that a family structure that allowed me to do that. I was able to not work for the time that I went through treatment and put myself first. And if I needed to sleep, I slept. If I needed to eat, I ate. If I needed to be with friends, I had wonderful friends and family that filled my life with love and laughter. And it's like the button was just pushed and there was no more saying no thank you. I said yes to everything. Anytime somebody brought me something, anytime somebody was kind to me, I just soaked it all in. That actually changed my DNA. Receiving love changes your DNA. Okay? I want you to understand that receiving love changes who you are. Let that soak in. And is that something you're comfortable with? Is that something that you do gracefully? Or do you say, no, that's okay, you don't need to do that. Or, no, I don't really look that nice. Or I'm not that smart. Or, all the silly stories that we tell ourselves. Okay? I'd like people to maybe put in questions that I can answer tomorrow if there's anything that's really on your mind about self-love and how to let love come in. And maybe how to let this start affecting your life. We've all had trauma. We've all had experiences in life that we have a hard time going beyond. A lot of people don't like the word trauma. All that means is it's an experience that is still in your thoughts, right? Nobody else can determine what's traumatic for you. Some people it's very severe violence. It's neglect. It's having children, not having children. It's great loss. It's, some traumas just having another child in the family. Some traumas moving what seems maybe insignificant to you or me is very traumatic. And other people have multiple traumas. I guess that's a whole nother, that's a big subject. So I'm not going to get into that today. But everything's possible. You do not have to stay exactly where you are. You never do stay exactly where you are. Keep moving. Be like the elephants. Connect to your family and love yourself and let others love you. Again, this is Kristine Kieland. I'm so grateful that I have your attention for today. I'm going to sign off and I'll be back tomorrow. Thank you.